And now it turns out that Linda Sarsour, shock of shock, is in trouble. There's a story out today. Again, the Democrats set this standard because they wanted the moral high ground they wanted the political high ground on sexual harassment, and now they're going to have to get rid of it because all of their own people are getting caught in the net. According to the New York Post, controversial Muslim activist and Women's March organizer Linda Sarsour bullied an underling to cover up sex abuse allegations in her Brooklyn office. Azmi Falfabab told the Daily Caller that a man repeatedly rubbed his crotch on her while she worked for the association under Sarsour in 2009. But when Falfabab reported the abuse, Sarsour, a self-proclaimed feminist and co-founder of the Women's March organization, fat-shamed the woman and threatened to blacklist her from political jobs. The woman told the website, quote, "She oversaw an environment unsafe and abusive to women. Women who put Sarsour on a pedestal for women's rights and empowerment deserve to know how she really treats us." Apparently, the Daily Caller spoke with a bunch of other people about this, and they confirmed it. So it appears that Women's March organizer and feminist icon Linda Sarsour was involved in all of this.
So now to a follow-up on a story that we brought you earlier this week. Bombshell accusations against one of the lead people in the Women's March. Linda Sarsour is now being accused of ignoring sexual harassment in her own workplace. The story behind it is awful. But now Sarsour is hitting back at her accuser, suggesting that it is nothing more than a smear campaign. In moments, we will hear the story directly from Azmi, who is making these allegations. She'll join me live in the studio in just a moment. But first, let's go to Trace Gallagher, who is in our West Coast newsroom with the backstory on all of this. Trace.
Martha, on background, it's notable that Linda Sarsour is the most visible Muslim women activist in the country. She is a vocal critic of Donald Trump and even organized the anti-Trump Women's March back in January. She is a Palestinian American who's been accused of being anti-Semitic and fully acknowledges supporting Sharia law, which, for the record, opposes women who speak out against sexual misconduct. Now Sarsour is being accused of retaliating against a woman for speaking out against alleged sexual misconduct. Azmi Falfabab told the Daily Caller website that back in 2009, when she worked for Linda Sarsour at the nonprofit Arab American Association, a volunteer named Majid Saif sexually assaulted her by sneaking up behind her at work and rubbing his crotch against her. Falfabab says when she reported the conduct to Sarsour, she was body shamed, dismissed as an attention seeker, and told that Majid Saif was a good Muslim. Falfabab even claims that she was forced to speak with a New York police detective about the consequences of making a false claim. The Daily Caller says 3 sources independently confirmed her account. And when Donald Trump Jr. retweeted the article, Linda Sarsour fought back, calling the story a right-wing attack. Sarsour then called the left-leaning BuzzFeed to give her side of the story, saying she found no substantial evidence to back up Falfabab's accusations, but says she still told Majid Saif to stay away from her. Sarsour then gave BuzzFeed documents she claims support her version of events, including a statement by the accused denying the allegations and statements from Falfabab's co-workers saying they never witnessed any misconduct. But the documents don't offer any proof. Instead, they simply back up Azmi Falfabab's claim that Linda Sarsour believes the accused over the accuser. As for the claims of body shaming, Sarsour says it never happened. And today, Azmi Falfabab tweeted in part, quote, "So to be clear, everyone has the right to state their Me Too story, but me." Martha.
Trace, thank you very much. Joining me now, the alleged victim of that sexual harassment. Azmi joins me now here on the set. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. I know this isn't easy, right?
No.
She's coming after you.
Yeah.
How does that play out in your life?
I'd like to say it's for what I'm saying is happening.
She says that it was nothing what happened to you. What do you say?
I say it was something. And I did tell her several times what was happening, and she just brushed it off.
And were you as specific as Trace just explained it in there? So you specifically said that about the way that he was rubbing up against you?
Yes.
And what did she say to you at the time?
One of her comments actually was something like, "That doesn't happen to someone that looks like you."
And what did she mean by that?
Well, I mean, I don't fit her, I guess, physical persona of someone being harassed.
So that's what you're referring to when you say that she was body shaming you. And she says that's ridiculous. That never happened. What is it like going, I want to put the tweet up that that Trace just mentioned, because I thought it was very moving. You put this out. You say, so to be clear, everyone has the right to state their Me Too story but me. Politics has more say than actual sexual harassment and abuse. If I stand up against Linda Sarsour, I am a bad Muslim or against Islam. You all realize that you are just reenacting what I have been through. This is your response to what's happening to you on Twitter. It's not just her. There's an army of people who support her that are coming after you, right?
Yeah, on Twitter,
tell me about that.
I'm getting messages on Twitter, on Facebook even, where there's more body shaming. I'm being told that I'm doing this for attention. It's politically charged somehow. I'm not really sure how that's possible, because I'm not doing this for any reason other than wanting my story out there. She also has her people claiming that it's a, other than having a right-wing, and left-wing situation, it's against Islam. And I'm just trying to defame her name somehow by saying what
Why would
actually
it be
happened
against Islam? Are you not supposed to speak out, as was suggested in that? A woman's not supposed, is that true?
It's not actually true. I mean, I'm Muslim, and these people are Muslim as well. And I've studied Islam. Nowhere in there does it say that you can't say anything.
That you're supposed to stay quiet.
No, and nowhere in there does it say that you're against the religion if you actually stand up for yourself.
If you stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
So, we all watched the Women's March. We heard, all of these different women, Ashley Judd, other women standing on the stage talking about things that had happened to them. Linda Sarsour leading this whole movement, talking about Donald Trump, saying that he's unfit to be in the White House. And then you go to her and say, hey, this happened to me. Were you shocked with her reaction?
I actually was not shocked with her reaction, because that is actually how she treated me when I went to her the first time. When I went to her during the actual situation. That's why in the tweet, if you noticed, I did state, this is exactly what happened to me. You guys are just replaying it. You're reenacting it, telling me that I'm not a good Muslim. This never happened. I'm making up stories. Those are her words during that whole entire ordeal.
Yeah.
So now everybody's just retweeting it. They're just doing the same thing that she did.
So I asked you what you're doing now, and you said that you're not working. And I said, why? And you said, everywhere I try to get a job, she finds me.
Yes, because she did actually tell me at one point that I will never work in New York City ever again for as long as she lives.
Wow. I'm sorry for everything you've gone through. And I know there's a lot of back and forth with these affidavits and everything. But you have your story, and you have laid it out. And you claim that you're 100% telling the truth. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Esme, thank you very much. Good to have you here. I know it's not easy. Thanks for coming in tonight.
Thank you.
Well, it is called the March for Truth. It's an anti-Trump protest happening today in an estimated 135 cities around the country.
That's right. Here's where the real controversy comes in. The Democratic lawmakers behind the march are teaming up with this woman right here, Linda Sarsour, a vocal advocate of Sharia law and widely known for her anti-Israel stances.
So why would your representatives align themselves with someone with such questionable alliances? Well, here to react is Azra Nomani, co-founder of the Muslim Reform Movement. And that's the question right there. What do you know about this woman, and why would representatives want to align themselves with her?
Well, Abby and Pete, I've been covering Linda Sarsour's story for several years now, and as an American Muslim, I have to say that it's been fascinating. What Linda represents is the unholy alliance in the world right now between the left and the Muslim right. And so her sort of escalation to heroin for the American left is really disturbing for many of the issues that you would care about, Pete, as somebody who has fought the Muslim right out there in the world. The issues that she really brings to me as a Muslim woman also of real concern is a real aggression against other Muslim women who dare to challenge strict interpretations of Sharia. I've been the target of her assaults, so have other women in our community, and a real bullying behavior that wants to just dominate the public stage, so that now, unfortunately, the American left in its rabid hate for Donald Trump has just aligned themselves with somebody who is very counter to cohesion in America.
Yeah, it's a great point. point, and we pulled up some of her tweets, which sort of point out this alliance between these sides. Linda Sarsour says Sharia law is misunderstood and has been pushed by some evil Muslim agenda. Some Muslims are oppressors for sure. An acknowledgement. Another one: if you are still paying interest, then Sharia law hasn't taken over America. Hashtag just saying, because that's a principle of Sharia law. Another one: you'll know when you're living under Sharia law if you suddenly all of your loans and credit cards become interest-free. Sounds nice, doesn't it? That's a tenet also of Sharia law. So she's looking at some of the aspects that some might hold up under Sharia law that are good and saying, well, maybe we should consider it altogether.
Yeah, it's this romanticizing of Sharia law. And you know very well that the real dangers of Sharia law are the violation then of women's rights and human rights. And why is this happening? So I have here with me, with Post-it marks here, the funding that her organizations in the recent years since 2011 have been receiving from liberal donor George Soros and his Open Society Foundation. What that money represents is this unholy alliance where the left is funneling and sending money to organizations that are unfortunately putting forward very ultra-conservative Muslim ideas. And this is really dangerous for America.
Yeah, who you associate with says so much about that person. You would think our representatives would think twice about this one. Azra Nomani, thanks for helping us better understand all of this. Really appreciate your insight.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely, and really welcome the opportunity for everyone to just look at things with eyes wide open.
Yeah.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Let it go.